Waiting in line feels normal until you imagine a world where it is not. Today, if you arrive first, you expect to be served first. At a store, a bus stop, or a coffee shop, the line quietly tells everyone what fairness looks like. You do not need to know the people around you. You only need to know where the end is. But waiting your turn was not always the obvious solution. In many places, access used to depend on status, strength, or the ability to push forward. A line is a social technology. It turns a group of strangers into a temporary order. That order feels simple because the rule is visible. Stand here, move forward, do not cut. Behind that simplicity is a major idea. Strangers can be treated fairly by sequence rather than power. That idea is not small. Imagine a busy market before the line becomes normal. A counter opens, people gather, some shout, some wave money, some know the seller. Some are larger, louder, or more confident. The question of who comes next is social. A line changes the question. It says, for this moment, your place matters more than your status. Of course, real life is messier, and lines can still be unfair. Some people pay to skip them, and some systems make certain people wait longer. But the basic idea remains powerful because it makes fairness visible. A line is a public promise. That is why cutting in line feels so irritating. The person is not only moving ahead, they are breaking the tiny agreement that kept everyone calm. The history of everyday rules is full of these tiny agreements. Traffic lanes, appointment times, ticket numbers, forms, and waiting rooms. Each one reduces conflict by making expectations visible. The cost is that people have to trust the system enough to obey it. If the line never moves, people stop believing. If important people skip it, the line becomes theater. If the rules are unclear, the crowd returns. This is why ordinary order is more fragile than it looks. A queue is not just people standing behind each other. It is a belief that waiting will be recognized. The next time you stand in line, it may look boring, but boredom can be a sign that a social invention is working. No shouting, no pushing, no guessing who matters most. Just a row of strangers agreeing, briefly, to let time decide. That is why the line matters. A queue is a simple example of fairness becoming a physical shape. Instead of asking who is strongest, the line asks one question: who arrived before whom? That sounds basic now, but it is a radical simplification of social conflict. Queues became especially useful in settings where strangers had to share scarce access. Markets, ticket counters, rationing systems, public offices, transport stops, shops, clinics, and service windows. The more anonymous the crowd, the more valuable a visible order becomes. A line works because it turns fairness into something people can see. Your place is not an emotion, it is a position. The person behind you may be annoyed, but they can see why you are ahead. The person in front may be slow, but the rule still explains what happens next. That visibility reduces conflict, but it only works when people trust the line. If powerful people skip it, the line becomes humiliation. If the line never moves, it becomes a trap. If there are secret exceptions, the crowd starts reading status again instead of sequence. That is why queue discipline is not just politeness. It is institutional trust at human scale. The little ticket number, the roped lane, the waiting room chair, the marked counter, the bus stop order. These are all tools for turning strangers into a temporary public. They do not make everyone equal in life, but for a few minutes, they create a narrow kind of equality. Your turn is recognized. This is why cutting feels so insulting. The person is not only taking time, they are attacking the agreement that made waiting tolerable. The history of lines shows how civilization often lives in boring objects. A rope, a number, a counter, a habit of standing behind someone you do not know. The boringness is the achievement. When order works, it stops looking like technology.